General Chaos was released in 1994 by Game Refuge for the Sega Genesis. It's a point-and-click strategy war game. Although obviously without a mouse, you'll use the D-pad to control the cursor and position your troops. The soldiers are all cartoony, and so are the deaths, where they instantly decompose to skeleton before the bones dissolve into dust. The Blue Army is led by General Chaos, the Red Army by General Havoc, and both will stop at nothing to defeat the other, although there's no mention of what countries they represent or what the conflict is. It's just straight up violence. There's one player mode and 2 players head to head or side by side, plus a boot camp mode which serves as a tutorial. The objective is to win a series of battles, capturing territories until you take over the opponent's capital building. Each battle consists of a 5-on-5 firefight until all 5 on one side are killed off. There are 5 different characters, each brandishing a different weapon and possessing unique strengths and weaknesses. The machine gunner has a good rapid shot that's sometimes spread into an arc pattern with average range, although sometimes his gun jams up on him. The launcher fires off long-distance blasts from his rocket launcher, the most powerful attack in the game, but his rapid rate is poor. The blaster has a short-range attack and low rapid rate, however his dynamite blasts are pretty powerful. The chucker is similar to the blaster in that his grenades are low in rapid rate and they do significant damage, however they do have decent range. Finally, the scorcher has short range, but his rapid rate is constant and his flamethrower is deadly. Both the scorcher and launcher's attacks will sometimes cause an instantaneous death at random. Otherwise, the combatants have an unspecified amount of damage that they can take before they croak. You can revive those that are dying by dragging the cursor over them and pressing B to activate the medics who tend their wounds. But you have a limited amount of medics, and they carry over from one battle to the next, so if you run out, you're gonna be fucked, or at least for a little while. You can grab some bonus medics when you earn 10,000, 25,000, and 50,000 points. You'll acquire points from each battle for specifics, like how much land you've acquired from the opponent, how many casualties you've inflicted, and how much equipment you pick up that's scattered about the battlefield, plus bonus objectives, which I'll get into later. Before each battle takes place, you'll get to choose your lineup. It's not completely customizable, however. The game will give you 4 predetermined assortments. Sometimes they'll change up slightly, but you can only pick from the 4 that they give you. One of them is the commando unit, only 2 of them, and they're always the machine gunner and the chucker. Even though you're outnumbered here, there is one advantage. You can move them around freely with the D-pad instead of using the cursor to position their exact location. Also, if you play the 2-player side-by-side mode, each of you gets to control a pair of commandos, making it 4 soldiers total versus General Havoc's squad of 5. Pressing the B button will send for the other commandos to follow to your spot, and if one of them is injured and needs a medic, you'll have to move the other commando over his body and press B to call a medic. If you only have one left and you need a medic, you're fucked. Manipulating the soldiers via the cursor and toggling between them is pretty easy once you get the hang of it. It really helps that you'll automatically be toggled to the next soldier in the rotation after you move one. That'll save you an extra step. Pressing A will cause all of the soldiers to fire. You can't control their aim though. They generally aim at the closest enemy to them, although sometimes they don't really aim exactly where you want them to. The C button will change the selected soldier for your next move. Sometimes if 2 enemies close in on each other, they'll get into a scuffle and one of them will come out on top randomly. But sometimes it'll turn into a close combat battle where you can punch, kick, and block. All the action around just stops at once. I guess nobody can resist watching a fist fight. Each fighter has a health bar on the top of the screen, and obviously whoever drains their opponent's life will win the fight. But sometimes, and I'm not exactly sure what causes this, it might be completely random, while one of the soldiers is about to go down in defeat, he'll drop backwards and shoot the other guy in the gut. It's hilarious, but you may not feel the same way when it happens to you. Sometimes in a particular battle, you'll have a bonus mission to destroy or protect a landmark or some type of property, depending on which side you're on. And the bonus points will be awarded to whichever side accomplishes the mission. General Chaos isn't a technical marvel, it's not the smoothest or deepest game on the planet, and some people may rather have more control of the soldiers as opposed to the cursor, but it's a solid strategy game that can provide you with some entertainment, especially in multiplayer mode. And that wraps up this edition of Aqualung's Game Reviews. See you next time.